Alright, hello Blood Bowl fans, and today I am sitting down to talk about the Tutor League with one of my favourite friends and one of the other tutors, Fallenglory. Hello Fallenglory.
Hey, how are you doing?
Good, and you?
Yeah, I'm doing fine today, thanks.
Good. So this is going to be a new TV series. TV series? No, it's not. It's going to be a new series on YouTube where basically I'm talking to each of the tutors in our new Tutor League, which Fallenglory will explain in a minute. And in the background we have a game that we've played preferably together, but not necessarily. We're not going to talk about the game itself, we're just going to talk to each other, but if you want to watch the game, you go ahead. Fallen, do you want to introduce the league a little bit?
Yes, certainly. Well, we started this, the ICBBL last year, basically to introduce Blood Bowl to everyone who doesn't play yet. We really focused on new coaches. But now we've been in the run for a while. We have a lot of experienced coaches, and I've realized it's become a bit scary sometimes to play us as a new coach because we have so many hours under our belt. So I thought of a tutor league. To be honest, I saw the Reddit Blood Bowl League do it as well. A lot of the bigger leagues do it too. They basically tutor others, the new coaches, and help them along with tailored advice. The plan for our league is we're going to recruit a total of 8 students. We're going to go with students from now on and not rookies or newbies. I don't like that name. The only requirement is that they're available for advice like 2 to 4 hours a week, and that they have less than 100 hours of Blood Bowl under their name on their Steam. We're going to assign a very experienced tutor to them. While writing up the hours, I noticed I was the least experienced tutor in all the league. That's kind of funny. But we have quite a few really capable coaches in there. Some coaches are really specialized on a certain race. I'll call, like we have Uck, he's really specialized on Skavens. Or Undo, he's specialized on Dark Elves. He played like 1,000 hours of Dark Elves. And basically what we're doing, we're trying to give players who are new to the game a good experience and see how they like the game, if they're getting some tailored advice along the way. So that's basically the rundown of the league. I'll explain a little bit about my playstyle. I'm actually a Lizardman fan. When I started, I saw a really experienced coach playing called Guinness, and he played Lizardman so dedicated and well. And I just like the overall look of Lizardman. That's what really made me like the Lizardman. I'm not the best player with Lizardman, I'll just admit it. I'm probably better with a bit more bashy teams like Nurgle or Undead. But still, Lizardman is my favorite team overall. So I'm going to focus on Lizardman, but I'll take any coach that likes a good bash team anyways. Okay. So that's a little bit about myself.
That's fine.
What kind of coach are you anyways, AD?
Okay, well before I say that, I just want to say that the Tutor League idea I think was fantastic, by the way.
Yeah.
And we've got quite a lot of dedicated coaches who put a lot of hours into Blood Bowl, so it was a natural progression for our league, I think, without a doubt. There are 8 tutors in total. If we just go through the tutors very quickly as well, because I'm going to try and speak to all of them. So we've got myself, who is running Orcs as the main Tutor League. Oh, Chaos and Dwarves I'm down for as well, apparently, with my student now. Yourself running Lizards. We've got Urban Zorro. What race did he choose? Do you remember?
Yeah, it kind of surprised me. I thought he would take Brats, but he said do Chaos first and then Necromantic. And if they're really crazy, I'll take Brats with my pupil. That's kind of funny.
That sounds like Urban Zorro.
Yeah.
And Smoko went for Dark Elves, and I don't remember the second one. Undead, thank you.
Yeah.
Then we've got Mint, who I don't know very well, to be fair, but I've just met him. And he said Nurgle.
Yeah, I've classed Mint as the most batchy coach of all our tutors, really.
Okay. That makes sense, I think.
Yeah, he likes dwarves and he likes to play Nurgle. To be honest, I haven't played it myself, so I don't really know yet. But he is starting a Nurgle team in our league, so it makes sense.
Yeah, that certainly does make sense. And then we've got Undo, who is running, of course, Dark Elves, because it's what he does.
Yeah.
Oog is running Rats, because that's what he does. And who are the...
Farkson.
Farkson, okay. And
he's the most agility-based coach with specialty Wood Elves and Khemri. Well, Khemri's not really an agility team, but
complete opposites.
It's a really hard team. I wouldn't call it bash. It's more a controlling team, right?
Yeah, it's a control team. It's like Nurgle in that regard. And there's one more, or is that everybody?
I think we got everyone there.
I think we got everybody. Okay. Well, there may be somebody else in the league. We'll find out when we get there. Okay. Well, you asked me to say a little bit about myself. So, I've been playing this Blood Bowl 2 game for quite a while now. I think I have about 1,000 hours on record now, which is pretty crazy. It may be a bit less than that though. And obviously, I do a lot of this stuff on YouTube as well. That's relatively new, but something that I do. I do like this game, but sometimes it does drive me insane, of course. I am primarily an Orc coach, which surprised a lot of people because I don't play Orcs competitively very often. But
even surprised me.
Yeah, but it is the team that I play the best, so it makes sense that I choose that.
I realized that when I played first Orcs against you. That was crazy.
Yeah, we got that game in the background right now, actually.
Yes.
But
I lost badly, I believe.
It wasn't badly. It was close.
Yeah, okay.
And yeah, that's basically what I do. I like undead as well, though I don't like ghouls, so I don't feel like I should be teaching people to play undead because I wouldn't play a ghoul myself. So if somebody wants to play a ghoul, which is a legitimate strategy, I'm not the right coach for them. So that's why I chose not to use them.
And it seems fair. For undead, you need 2 to 4 ghouls to be successful, really.
Yeah, realistically. The stumblers don't always cut it.
No.
They try, though.
Yeah, they will keep trying.
So, how did you originally get into Blood Bowl in general? Was it this game first, or did you play the tabletop, Blood Bowl 1?
No, none of that. It was Lucas Scholar. You might know him. Really friendly guy.
Yeah.
Always spirited and really fun to play with.
Yeah, he is.
He actually gave me the game, which was really generous of him. We kind of do that in our group, we call them that, our group of online friends.
Yeah.
Jesse actually played the first game with me, and he taught me really well. It's kind of funny because this season he's starting himself playing Blood Bowl, and it's kind of like an example where the pupil has gone forward, and the master he didn't play a lot of Blood Bowl. Let's put it at that.
Yeah.
And
well,
he's actually teaching for me now, so that's kind of funny.
Yeah. Well, Jesse does actually consider himself a rookie, so it's interesting that that's the way you got into the game, actually.
Yeah. I was much worse than him when I started. I didn't even know where to click, and I tried to dodge out when I had to take a block, and a lot of rookie mistakes, so I really know what to look for. I can really guide you through the process. I don't know a lot about... oh, that's my phone.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't know a lot about like really high TV, because I usually cap at like 1,500 to 1,700 TV. But in most leagues, it's not really necessary to know to play better than that.
Well, I mean, the best coaches...
That's how I got started.
Okay. Well, the best coaches would actually agree with you on that. I mean, you should be keeping your TV as low as possible, especially in a ladder or in a league format. Just getting best value out of your TV, basically. So
yeah,
that makes perfect sense. I do have some experience at high TV, just because I like it, not because I think it's good. But it's always fun when you play a crazy high TV game.
Yeah, so you played Dwarfs at 2,200 team value.
2360.
Holy crap. So how did you start playing Blood Bowl?
How did I start playing Blood Bowl? Well, when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, I should say, I did play the tabletop a bit, and I played Orcs. Oh. It wasn't really playing, though, it was a case of, I like these models, I like punching things, what the hell's a ball? Let's play Blood Bowl.
So kind of like playing Soldier with the plastic figures. You were playing with Blood Bowl.
Well, I was big on all the Games Workshop games. Blood Bowl was one of the last ones I joined. I played it with one friend. Neither of us knew the rules. But we had a lot of fun killing each other. Basically, it was
Right.
it was what the game was all about. And I was playing orcs; they were good at that.
I bet you didn't read the 60-page rulebook back then.
No, of course not. No, I could have done. To be fair, I just had better things to do, basically, so I never did.
Yeah, of course.
We just made up the rules as we went along. It was, we had the basic idea, and that was enough. More recently, I actually accidentally found the Blood Bowl games on YouTube, and I was watching WoW Krendor, actually, and I found his Skittles Invitational tournament. It was a short tournament, and I was watching this game, and I was thinking, holy crap, it exists on computer, I've got to get that. And I started off with the first one, actually. I took the Blood Bowl 1 Chaos edition, and I didn't like it that much. It was a really difficult interface to get used to. But overall, I think it is actually potentially better, but with the graphics and the dice and everything, this one is much more user-friendly. And a couple of weeks later, I bought this game, and I haven't looked back since. So.
Oh, that's great to hear. And in a month or so, or maybe 2 months, we'll have an even better game.
Yeah, Legendary Edition is coming out, of course, and we're going to see what we can do in our league with Legendary Edition, because I'm sure we can have some really fun ideas from that.
Certainly.
And so Lizardmen are your choice your fun choice. Do you think there's a team that you're better at than Lizardmen then?
A team I'm better at?
Yeah.
Probably Undead. I have the most wins as Undead coach. I think I played them on season 3 and 4, and I won both those seasons with them. They were just really good. I took them when they came out originally, and I really like to play them with just the 2 ghouls. And on defense, I just play with the 1 ghoul and take 1 extra zombie on the field. Basically putting the zombies on the line of sight, putting the mummies behind them, 1 on each side for good control over the field. Then put 1 of each whites on the sideline, and the ghoul in the middle. And yeah, maybe sometimes I put a scatty there as well, and I use the skeleton mostly for fouling, really, which is really evil. Like Undead are a great fouling team.
They are, but skeletons are supposed to pass the ball. That's their job.
You're crazy.
I know. That's not advice. Don't take that as advice. It's just what I do with skeletons. They're actually an awful piece, but
it's good to have fun in the game.
Yeah, exactly. It's the best animation.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, go on.
Yeah. Now the Lizardmen, I really want to play them better, but they're just a really hard team to play well.
Yeah, they are.
They're really skill deprived when they start. Basically, Saurus. They have strength 4. They have good movement, good armor, but yeah, they don't have any skills. So if you're against a team with block or a team that could dodge out really well, you're already behind, really. The Skinks are good at dodging, good at moving around with the ball, but they're really, really weak. So you really have to take care for them. They're probably one of the harder races to play for me, but I really like the challenge. They're fun to play overall. Really puts a smile on my face when I see the Skink make the impossible play by dodging out everywhere.
Yeah.
Or I even play some crazier games now. We did play a game not that long ago where I actually picked up the ball with the Croxagore and scored with it and stuff like that.
It's this one, actually, so spoiler alert.
Oh, you picked that one? Oh,
no,
that's
it wasn't
great.
this one, actually, was it? No, it wasn't this one.
No, it was a match before in the Wood Wars.
Okay, yeah, sorry, it was a different one. Yeah. Well, the video is there, though, if you do want to see. That actually did happen, I can confirm.
Yeah, and other best teams I know a lot of Dwarves and Nurgle. The rest of the bash teams, like Orcs, Chaos, I'm not that good with them, really. Because I think they cannot move around that much. And really is hard to counter elves, counter Skaven with them, I think. I don't know how you deal with them yourself. Since you're playing both those races, I cannot play. But yeah, that's kind of what kind of coach I am.
Okay. Well, to give you a basic rundown of my credentials, if you like, as well, I play literally every race. I like to mix it up. I'm not good with every race, but I do play every race. For example, I'm awful with wood elves, but I'll still play them for a bit of fun. I'm not very good with agility teams in general, which is funny because I'm a passing coach, but I don't like playing a team that passes easily. I tend to play them the opposite way, so when I have a passing team, it's more, for some reason I bash more, and when I'm playing a bash team, I pass more. But it's just the way I feel the game, so I don't know why. And one thing I'd say about what you said about lizards, I think lizards starting off are a very defensive team, and then when you get into it a bit, you can do the more crazy things when you have some skills, but early on you have to play a kind of slow defensive game. So yeah, I agree with you. When you're against a team with lots of skills, it's a slow grind basically for lizards early on. In terms of playing orcs though, which is the team that I play, of course, I am a passing orc coach, which is terrifying for most people. When orcs pass, they become much scarier than when they're just a bash their way to the line type team. As you saw just now, I know you can't see Fallen, but there was a pass between the thrower and the goblin. It's a very common play for me, just because
I do remember.
Yeah, and the goblin is a very very good piece for moving the ball around, and the thrower, so long as you're close enough, can actually throw. If you're not close, there's no point, but if you're close to a piece, then by all means use him as the way he's supposed to be used.
Yeah, the thrower starts off with sure hands and pass, right? And agility 3.
Yeah, so
it's a pretty good combination of skills.
Yeah, he's a pretty solid piece, to be honest. He's really underestimated by many coaches, but he plays well. Though
many players think on the AV-ATC and they think he's weaker or something. But I think that's a wrong conclusion. Yeah.
Yeah, I think people actually. I don't want to say people play orcs wrong, but I think there's a better way of playing orcs than the most common way, which is to take all of the armor 9 and basically slowly move up the pitch, killing things until you have the numbers to run over the line. Orcs are a lot more. They're a lot more nuanced than that. If you can make the correct combination of players, you can actually use them as a control and also fast movement team. It's the way I normally do. I like to make a box, as you've seen early on, and you're about to see doing this, so the opponent team can't move, basically, and I run around them. That's how I play orcs, personally. And,
I usually call that the counter caging. Basically, you're surrounding the enemy cage.
Yep.
And it's easier to do the moment you get some attrition on your opponent, basically taking the pieces out of your opponent. That's what you really were successfully doing. And you have the better stats, dashing-wise, as orcs.
Yeah, against lizards, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's something I wanted to ask you, actually, because I was looking at the Luck of the Dice teams, and why do you take 5 Saurus and 5 Skinks?
Yeah, I was looking at the video of Ook. I really didn't realize you could take the 6. You can take 6 lizards or Saurus.
Yeah.
And the 3 rerolls and the crocs.
Yep.
I wonder how he did that.
I think it's the most common setup, so I thought there was some secret strategy to the 5/5. Well,
no, let me look it up real quick. How did I get to that conclusion?
I'm not sure.
I got my Blood Bowl open so I can check.
I don't think you can get 3 rerolls though. I think it's 2
I
rerolls.
always start like that.
I think it's 2 rerolls he's got though, not 3. I don't think you can get 3 rerolls, 6 Saurus, Crocs, and Skinks.
Let me see if I have a fresh one on this team.
Okay.
The game is being a bit slow. Yes, it's basically I'm pretty sure that the Saurus and the Skinks were more expensive earlier.
No, I think every time I've made lizards I make them in the same way, but it's with 2 rerolls.
They're always 80k.
Yeah. Pretty sure.
For some reason I had in my head that the Saurus were 90k and the Skinks were 70k.
No, Skinks.
I might have been wrong.
Skinks have always been 60 for sure. And Saurus, I don't know. I don't play lizards enough to say it with any kind of confidence, but yeah, I think so.
Then it's an honest mistake there. That's kind of funny. That a new player actually knows it better than me.
Well, he's probably played with the build a bit. read lots of things. That's the way Rook is. So, yeah.
Yeah, there are a lot of sites with like setups you would like.
Yeah.
What you really want to do with a team is get the rerolls you want right off the bat, unless you lose too much strength from it. I remember my first Listman team having like 7 skinks. I really like the skinks overall, but like that season, all my skinks got massacred. I think it was like the first season of the ICBBL. I think I got the game still here. Yeah, my first game was against Lucas Scholar, 0-1.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow, that doesn't happen often.
Yeah, and I think, let me see, Step in the Dark. I think that's Arden's team. I also played some other teams back then. One of them, I think it was Chris's team, or Finney's team. Yeah, he was with dwarves, and he was actually murdering all my skinks. That was a really tough lesson on how to protect your skinks. I realized from that moment that basically you need those Saurus to protect all those skinks.
Okay.
Yeah, let's not go too much in depth over strategy right now, but like...
No, that's fine. I did want to ask you one more, not really strategy question though, but a question that I think is one of the most important in this little interview thing. What do you think is the biggest rookie mistake that you see in game?
Yeah, the biggest mistake is probably starting with a blitz, even if you have players down. The first thing you want to do is stand up your players, move them around. Unless you want to blitz a specific enemy player so you can free up that piece and then move him around, then I understand. But usually the basic order in how you play the game is, or start your turn, stand up the players that were like knocked down, then you move around, then you blitz or start blocking. Usually when everything's set up, you start moving your ball carrier. Like you don't want to move him forward if he's not protected well. That's basically the biggest rookie mistake I see, and it's the easiest way to counter someone. Like if someone is really not taking his priorities well, like you can really take advantage of that. Like someone will still have the players on the floor, and if he gets a turnover from the blitz, which can happen if you don't have re-rolls or you roll double skulls twice or double one, then you get the turnover, and then basically your entire field is like cleared.
Yeah.
You miss a lot of blocks and stuff like that. Like it might not cost you that game, but like it will cost you games in the end.
Yeah, sure.
That's probably the biggest one I've seen. And yourself?
There are a few actually. One of the biggest mistakes I see is starting with the big guy, because it's sometimes it's, of course there are some exceptions where it is essential.
Guilty.
Like you said about the positioning as well. It's the same thing. Sometimes you do want to blitz before you move, but generally speaking, the big guy should be one of the last pieces you use because he's the most likely to fail, and sometimes his failures can be a big issue.
And for the new coaches who don't know why he fails, because he has the skill called loner. Yeah. Basically, if you have to reroll, which is highly likely because they usually don't start out with a block. If you have to reroll, you first have to roll for loner. That basically means before you can reroll, you have to roll a dice, and only on the 4+, so that's 50% chance, you can reroll it. Otherwise, you just get the same result and you use your reroll.
Yeah. That's
meaning you will get a turnover.
That's another thing, actually. Re-rolling loners is a big rookie mistake as well, when I think about it, when you mention that.
Also guilty.
Yeah, me too sometimes, but I tend to do it when it's absolutely necessary. I don't usually do it by mistake. The other rookie mistake is basically bad team builds. It's one of the biggest mistakes you can make because you're going to pay for that until you have enough money to rebuild. So if you take too many positionals at first, or if you take a piece that you don't really need at first, and you give up some rerolls, or you give up the apothecary in some teams, you're going to have a really bad start. And it's going to take a long time.
What I would recommend is just taking a piece of paper or looking it up on a website. Just calculate beforehand what you want to play, how many players do you want, and what your short-term plans are for the team. Like, do you want to start off with a lot of rerolls, or do you want to go for strength? It's all things you have to consider. Or do you want a passing game like AD wants sometimes?
Yeah, always.
Yeah. Well, then you have to. In some teams you have the catcher and the thrower. So if you want a passing game, you want to hire those guys. But they're pretty expensive. For example, on the Wood Elf team.
Well, it's funny you say that actually. I don't always take the passer and the catcher depending on the team. If somebody else can fill the role for a basic throw, not for a long bomb throw, then basically I'll use them until I can afford the catcher or the thrower.
Right.
And rerolls are essential, and saving the rerolls is also essential if you're going to play a passing game, because you want the rerolls when you're using the ball. So that's always what I try to do. Build a team where I can save rerolls for the clutch plays where the ball is going to move.
Yeah.
Okay. And talking a little bit specifically about the races then, because that's what we're here for basically.
Sure.
So you told me basically about how the game works, but do you think there are any essential level ups on any particular piece in the Lizard team? I mean.
Yes. If you're gonna play with the SARS, basically the big guys, not the biggest guy, but
the Crocs.
For the stars, you always want to have block first. They're just so much better with block. It's just 20k because they have general skill access. That means that every roll will give you that block. Unless you roll double, you can think about taking something else, but they have general access and they have strength access. That's really all they need. You don't want to make a passer out of them or a darcher. I don't really like taking dodge on the Saurus, basically because there's so many other good options there.
Yeah, sure.
And yeah, for the skinks, skinks are good as they are. Really, it might sound weird, but they actually get worse the more skills they get. To be honest.
No, I agree with you.
Because they really bloat the team at some point. Like if you have like 10 level ups on your skinks, it's 10 times 20k. That's 200k to your team. That's a lot. That's really big. Like people can take a wizard and it will ruin your game if they take a wizard against you. I would keep one skink with catch and maybe 2 or 3 with diving tackle. If you, however, ever roll a 11 for agility, that's great on skink, of course. Block is great on skink. I wouldn't take extra movement. It already has so much movement. If you want a one-turn touchdown, it's really possible if you have just a reroll ready. I actually tried it the other day, and I kind of made a mistake by just pushing twice. You need to push 3 times, and then you could do a one-turn touchdown with a skink. It's very possible if you have a full team ready to back up the skink. Yeah, that's basically all you want, really. Later on, you can specialize the Sari, but in my experience, after level 2, it's really hard to level them up further. You could argue to take one with Mighty Blow instead of Block, so he levels up faster. I've done that in the past, and it really worked well. I actually gave him Tackle later, so he really became a scary piece for elves. So you can do that specialization maybe later in the game. So that's basically how I would level up my players. Any specific level ups for the orcs?
What about the Crocs? You missed the Crocs.
The Crocs is fine as he is. I never was so lucky to roll doubles on him. Okay. But I guess you could give him Stand Firm. But he has so many skills. He has Mighty Blow. He starts with Fixed Skull.
I have him here. Let's have a look. Yeah, we got Mighty Blow, Really Stupid. No, Bonehead, sorry. Prehensile Tail and Thick Skull.
Yeah, and the Prehensile Tail is really good on him. Normally it would be a mutation thing, but it's kind of a weird skill because lizards don't have mutation access, just the Crocs has a Prehensile Tail. And I've noticed the agility-based teams, like elves, if you place a Crocs on their dodging players, or the players that want to move out, you get -1 on their dodge out, and it's really massive, because normally they would dodge out 1 out of 6, and then they just suddenly have 2 times more chance to fail that, or even more, actually. So that's a pretty big skill. If you're ever lucky enough to get a double up, I would certainly take block on the Roxicor. Otherwise, guard would be really good because it just gives your team a bit more strength even.
Sure thing. Well, when talking about orcs, there are a few essential things that need to happen on orcs, basically. A lot of people say full Mighty Blow on blitzers, and I disagree with that. I think you need 2 pieces with Mighty Blow in the blitzers. You need a guard piece, or 2 guard pieces, and a guard and a tackle piece. So just to get rid of those dodgy elves. So I think even though everybody always says take Mighty Blow on blitzers because they level faster, it's true. But at the same time, you need a bit of dynamic. I can't speak now. You need a bit of dynamic team build just so you can have a little bit of variety and you can use them in different situations.
Yeah.
For the Black Orcs, definitely take block as early as possible, even though it takes them a little while to level up. It just gives you that extra bit of safety. Because even though Black Orcs have no skills, they are a nightmare to play against. So if they have block, it's even harder to put them down. It's a big problem. The lineman basically also needs block and he needs guard as soon as possible. And then for the thrower, you want to give him block as well. Lots of block in this team, but it's an essential skill. And for the goblin, I take a rather strange one. I always give him sure feet, because it gives him that little extra chance to run well out of the way. So I almost always give him sure feet as the first level up, and sneaky git if I'm feeling a bit cheeky.
Basically saving up that extra reroll you might take.
Exactly. Catch as well if you can get it, but those 2 should be the earliest things you're thinking about, a catch and a sure feet. But that's the way I play orcs, with a passing style.
Do you ever combine it with sprint? Sure feet?
Sprint usually comes after catch, and I hope to get a double or I hope to get a stat up before then. So sprint is kind of like, the last resort, and if it has sprint, then I may consider firing it, to be honest, because it's got too high with nothing useful.
Yeah, I understand that. And you never use the, how's he called again, the troll, to launch your goblins? Because I've seen that before. I've seen orc teams 1 turn like that. It's really cool to watch.
I had a go with the troll. I've never got on with the troll personally, but there's definitely some argument for the troll. But I think he's a loner that replaces a strength piece when you have a team of strength, so you don't really need him. He's actually more risky than useful, I find. But yeah, the goblin throwing is fun, of course, and the goblin throwing can, of course, create certain situations, but it's such a clutch play. It's harder than actually passing the ball with orcs. So I tend not to use the troll personally.
Yeah, I've seen it gone wrong many times. Like you can actually eat the goblin, which is kind of funny. Yep. Not for the coach itself, but for the guys watching.
No, I agree. It is kind of funny, but obviously it gives you a bad day if that happens. The troll is just there basically to cause you problems in the orc team, so I don't take him for that reason.
He's there to eat?
Yeah. So I don't take him for that reason.
All right.
The background game is actually finished. If you have more questions, then that's fine, but...
I'm actually kind of done with talking about myself. I normally don't talk a lot about myself. I like to talk in general, but I'm really short with what I have to say usually. But I think we covered it quite well.
Yeah, sure thing. Sure thing. Well, for the future videos for anybody watching, it is going to be a more structured interview, and I'm going to be talking mostly to the other coach. I may even get Fallen back on again. I'll try and convince him. But
maybe.
But I'll make a more structured interview, and it will probably last roughly the same time. But we won't be talking so much about the league. We'll be talking about the teams and the coaches themselves mostly.
Yeah. And if you're looking for a good tutor, and if you're a new player yourself, feel free to sign up. And I think you'll link everyone where they can sign up, right, AD?
Yeah, I'll try and... If you can send me actually the link to the main thing, that would be easier. But
I will do that, so you can put it under.
I'll add the link to the ICBBL as I always do, and I'll add the link to the specific Tutor League, sure thing. And also you can watch Fallenglory on Mixer or Beam. And Voxen also you can watch on Mixer or Beam. He's one of the other tutors. So us three, you can actually watch us play whenever you want to. And yeah, I think that basically covers everything.
All right. Thank you for the interview. It was fun talking.
Yeah, thanks for the two-way interview, because it was two-way, so it was a nice little introduction.
Fair enough.
And yeah, I look forward to playing you again soon and seeing what you can do, how well you can make your student. If we have two of you, that's going to be pretty scary, actually.
It's going to be fun. We're going to play each other, and our students are going to play each other. So
that's a good point, actually. Do you want to talk about the structure very quickly at the end of the league?
Sure. I didn't put it on paper yet, so it's all from mind.
Okay, sorry then.
The idea is the students will play each other in a student-friendly league. They will get advice ahead and after the game from the tutor, but not actually during the game, because I really frown upon in-game coaching, because it really has to be your own decision. So you can only blame yourself at the end that you lost or you won. And it has to be a learning experience. Like if someone is basically guiding you through the game, you're not actually playing yourself. So I'm really against that. But on the other end, we'll have the tutors, and they will fight off as well in their own league, just for honor and glory. And they wanted to have something to do themselves, probably. And the scores of the tutors and students combined will determine the ultimate winner, of course. We'll make like a top three.
Okay.
And we'll find a way to put them in the, how do you say that? Put them in the, I don't know the word. Anyways.
You mean like in a leaderboard?
It's going to be fun. Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
No worries. So it kind of works like a clan in that way. So we've got a combination of our score, our results, sorry, makes up the leaderboard. That's interesting.
Yeah, basically, yeah. And maybe we'll even add some transfers, like you can do transfers between the tutor team and the student team. The student team is going to be new, of course, and the tutor team can be a used team.
Okay.
But, more details will follow later.
Okay. One last question in the league then. So we're not going to do... There's been obviously talk of a knockout. We're not considering a knockout with the students and tutors going against each other, no?
No, I think that goes against the idea of the league overall.
Yeah, I agree, but I just wanted to put...
If you put someone with 1,100 hours against someone with like 20 hours, you know what's going to happen, right?
Yeah, I know what's going to happen, but just I wanted to put that argument to bed.
We don't have to put them in a league together to know what's going to happen, so we're just going to leave the students with each other.
Like I said, I just wanted to put any kind of rumours like that to bed. There's going to be no knockout between the students and the tutors. It's not viable. And
it's more about the learning experience than ending up first.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to give you a good experience in the game, and if you want, we can welcome you into our new season. It's going to be season 7 then. And you can play there then with a new team and level that up and play against more experienced coaches then.
Yeah, it's basically an introduction into our league that's nice and friendly, and you get a little chance to, well, learn the ropes a bit.
Yeah.
Cool.
VIP treatment, I should call it.
Yeah.
But we don't charge.
No charging. All right. Well, I think that's enough for this one. So, thank you very much for coming on, Fallenglory. It's always a pleasure.
No problem. I'll see you next time.
Yeah. Thanks. Right, guys. Thank you very much for watching. That's all for today. May Nuffle tickle your things and have fun playing your games. Bye bye for now.